Good morning, second grade. Happy Friday. Well, today we're going to continue our simple biographies. We're going to remember that biography is a word that means life story. And we're going to be reading another life story. Today, we're going to talk about Celia Cruz, the queen of salsa. Salsa is a type of music. It has a Latin beat to it. It's quite entertaining. But we're going to read about this young lady who is very famous in the world of music. Celia Cruz, the Queen of Salsa, by Veronica Chambers, illustrated by Julie Marin. In the fabled land of Havana, where rhythm grows sweet and juicy like oranges in Florida, there lived a girl. She looked like a girl and talked like a girl, but everyone who ever met her agreed she sang like a bird. Like other girls in Havana, she had chores. Some of her friends were charged with sweeping in the kitchen, other girls washed the dinner plates. Celia's job was to sing lullabies to put her younger brothers and sisters to sleep. At night, her voice carried through the windows, rolling along the cobblestone streets like a wheel or a wish. The people in her neighborhood began to gather outside of her family's front door, begging her father to leave it open. They said, "Her voice is tan dolce, sweet like a kuzar." Her voice, it was said, sent you not only to sleep, but to a nighttime land of angel beams. They were saying that her voice was very nice, sweet like sugar. There. Always shy and more than a little independent, Celia mistook the gathering crowds for busybodies, watching her every move. "Ay, por favor," she pleaded. "If you don't leave, these little ones will never get to sleep." Despite her initial shyness, she could not stop singing. In the afternoon, after school, she would listen to the rapid-fire calls and cries of the pregons, the street vendors, calling out their wares. In time, people would recognize the passion and the pulsating cries of the pregon in Celia's unique voice style. People had to call out so that people would know what they had for sale. And she used kind of that call to help shape her singing. In high school, she began singing in school shows and local clubs. The music that she loved, el son and la guaracha, blended traditional Afro-Cuban themes with the flavor and folklore of the tropics. It was the kind of music that sizzled from the joy of being alive. Her father loved to watch his little songbird. Watch her send 100 hearts soaring with melodies, but he was also so cautious. "Keep studying, hija," he told her. She hummed old Cuban love songs while absent-mindedly flipping the pages of her school books. "You are so smart. Forget about singing and become a school teacher and make your family proud." Celia loved to sing, but she also had her own schoolwork to do. Her teachers, however, saw things a different way. "Take a chance," one professor told her. "With your voice, you could earn in a day what it takes me a year to make. But it was not easy to make a dream planted in your heart, or it was not easy to take a dream planted in your heart and make it grow in the world. Celia was unknown, did not have the kind of connections that easily opened doors. Still, she jumped at every opportunity. Talent contests, the National Theater, and amateur nights on the radio. She never forgot her father's lessons on the importance of education. And after graduating high school, she enrolled in Cuba's National Music Conservatory, where she studied piano, voice, and musical theory. Then in 1950, she got her big shot. The most popular band of the day was a group called La Sonora Matancera. They were auditioning for a new lead singer. When they heard Celia sing, the way she made each and every note swing, they decided to give the little songbird a job. At first, La Sonora's public was outraged. Who was this no-name singer fronting for their favorite band? The phones at the Havana radio stations rang off the hook with complaints. At home, Celia began to wonder if she shouldn't take her father's advice and teach school. Was she really the ruin of Cuba's most beloved band? She stood by the window, looking out at the stars. She feared she would never join and asked. She stood by the window, looking out at the stars she feared she would never join. And Celia asked herself, why do I sing? Is it for fame and fortune, or for fans that do not exist? No, she told herself. I sing for my parents, the ancestors, and the saints. I sing because when I lift my voice up high, I feel like the first pijaro of the day, whistling buenos dias to everyone who will listen. I sing for my little brothers and sisters and the sweet expressions on their faces when they finally fall asleep. She sings like the first songbird of the day, saying good morning. Although Celia was seriously thinking about giving up her dream, her bandmates refused to allow her to quit. As a group, they rewrote the history of Cuban music with new arrangements and a fresh, innovative style. By the time she left Cuba in 1960, Celia was beloved throughout the country as the men who made music with her. She earned an affectionate nickname from the thousands of fans. They called the group Café con Leche, coffee with milk, because Celia's skin was very dark and her bandmates were very fair. In this case, fair meaning lighter skinned. In the United States, she became a citizen, and her talent was rewarded with a permanent contract at the Hollywood Palladium. But once she left Cuba, politics dictated that she could never return. She would never again walk the streets of her beloved Havana. She would never again hear the cries of the pajara that were the bass and treble of Cuban street life. It was a heartache she carried with her throughout her whole life through. Cuba had a revolution, and the government became a dictatorship, and that's why she couldn't go home. Still, She kept her heart open. Lost loves made room for new loves. And it was there, in Hollywood, that factory town of movies and dreams, that the young princess of salsa music, the young princess of salsa music, fell in love with a knight in shining armor. His name was really Knight, Pedro Knight. He was the lead trumpet player of the Palladium Orchestra, and while he dazzled her with his high notes, he won her love with his understanding. She told him that her heart would always be split in 3 pieces, and only one part would belong to him. One part of her heart belonged to the music, and the third piece would always live in Cuba. Celia knew that she had met more than her husband. She had met an angel who would be her companion and protector in this land so far from home. Celia Cruz brought salsa music to every corner of the earth, from London to the Congo, from Brazil to Japan. She recorded over 20 gold albums. She is known the world over as the Queen of Salsa. For more than 40 years, Pedro Knight was her king. Celia's performance trademark was a full-throated shout of azúcar, the Spanish word for sugar, and the only word, many say, that so perfectly described her voice. In the fabled land of Havana, where rhythm grows sweet and juicy like oranges in Florida, there lived a little girl. She looked like a girl. She talked like a girl. But everyone who ever met her agreed she sang like a bird. The bird grew into a princess, and the princess became a much beloved queen. Her kingdom was music, and those who loved her called her not by name, but by the joy she inspired. At concerts they called out, "Azúcar!" And Celia Cruz never failed them. She sung sugar, sweet sugar, wherever she went. She had a dream of being able to sing for people. And she lived that dream. But it was hard work. It didn't come easy. So for today, I'd like you to take your notebook and answer 2 questions. The first one, what dream would you like to turn into your job, if you could? And the second one, what kind of music would you sing if you could become a professional singer? Okay, 2nd grade. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you very much, and I'll be back on Monday with some more books for you. And stay healthy, stay safe, and have a good day.